So, if you're over 40, you may have this feeling you've worked hard, you've tried to be responsible, you've been saved, and maybe you've invested. And yet, the closer retirement gets, the less clear it feels. So, this isn't because you did something wrong, but because the rules that you were handed were built for a different phase of life. So let me tell you what this channel is and what it isn't. So this channel is not here's 5 tips or here's 7 hacks or hey, here's 3 moves in order for you to retire early. This channel is something more useful and frankly more respectable. It's for financially disciplined adults over 40, whether you feel behind or you're doing well, but you're quietly uncertain. To understand why traditional retirement planning breaks down as time compresses and how to think clearly about what actually matters next. That's the mission. So, there's a few concepts. Okay, so the first concept is time compression, and let me label the first concept. Time compression is what happens when the same financial event carries more consequences because there's less time to absorb it, to recover from it, or to correct it. Here's what people believe: if I keep doing the right things, clarity should increase over time. Here's how that shows up in real plans. They have accounts, they have projections, they are told, hey, just keep doing this and you'll be fine. Sometimes they're above average, and yet they don't feel calm. So, why it feels reasonable in your 20s and 30s is that time is a shock absorber. A bad year is just, well, it's just a bad year. Why it breaks and why this concept breaks down after 40, because after 40, time stops being a cushion. It actually becomes a constraint. Not because you're old, because you're closer to the point where outcome becomes locked in. So that's time compression. So concept 2 is responsibility versus retirement readiness. So responsibility is a behavior, right? So saving consistently, avoiding obvious mistakes. Retirement readiness is a condition. The plan is durable if it survives stress. Those are not the same things. What people believe is, okay, if I'm responsible, then I'm on track. Now, how it shows up is that someone saves for 10, 20 years, then realizes retirement isn't a number, it's a lifestyle, it's inflation, healthcare, market timing, longevity. And the question becomes, is this enough in the world that we actually live in? And why it feels reasonable is because responsibility is what you can control daily. So it feels like progress because it is progress. But for you, why it breaks down after 40, because after 40, progress must be judged by durability, not just accumulation. You don't need growth. Oh, actually, you do, but you don't only need growth. You need survivability. So here's concept number 3: fragility. I'll explain it by saying here's the trap that most people fall into. When retirement feels maybe unclear, people assume one of two things. One of two things. I didn't save enough, or I need higher returns. And sometimes that's true, but often that's not the real diagnosis. So often the real diagnosis is, well, fragility. So a plan is fragile. A plan is fragile when it looks fine under normal conditions, but breaks under stress. And that's why two different people can feel the same unease. Person A says, I'm behind. Person B says, hey, I'm doing well, but I don't trust it. They're both reacting to fragility, whether they can name it or not. Now, I'm going to give you the first framework of this channel. Traditional retirement advice quietly assumes three things. The first assumption is you have time, and mistakes can be corrected, downturns can be waited out, and compound has its runway. Assumption number two, your life is stable. Your income stays predictable, your health stays manageable, and family demands does not spike. Assumption three, markets behave normally. The future resembles the past enough for averages to stay useful. Now, notice what happens after 40. You don't lose these assumptions. They just stop being safe to assume. Time compresses. Life becomes less linear. The cost of being wrong increases. And that's why the same old advice starts to feel thin. So this channel will give you vocabulary and distinctions that will make your thinking calmer. Here are 4 words that you're going to hear a lot from me. Time compression, less runway, more consequence, margin for error, how much wrong your plan can survive, sequence risk, when timing matters more than averages, durability, a plan that survives real life, not just spreadsheets. None of that is a tip. It's a way of seeing, because when you can see clearly, you stop spinning. I'm going to give you a simple self-diagnostic. So this is not a checklist and it's not homework. Okay, just to be frank. I want you to answer 3 questions. If I or you lost 20 to 30% on paper at the wrong time, does your plan still work without panic decisions? If your income changed for, I don't know, say 12 to 24 months, does your plan bend or does it snap? And if inflation stays annoyingly longer than anticipated, do I have a buffer or do I have hope? If those questions made you tense, that doesn't mean that you're failing. It just means that your mind is noticing your plan hasn't been stress tested in the ways that matter most after 40. And that's exactly what we're here to fix. So, who this is for and who it's not. This is for you if you've been responsible but still feel a little bit uneasy, or you're doing well but you don't trust it. You want calm thinking, not hype. This is not for you if you want quick reassurance. You want the best stocks for 2026. You want a one-size-fits-all advice. Look, there's no judgment here, just clarity. So here's how I'm going to speak. Calm, direct, no fear-mongering, no pretending there's certainty where there isn't. And every video will do one job. Help you see a retirement problem more clearly than you did before, specifically for those who are over 40 stage. So you can stop spinning in vague doubt. So in the next video, we're going to build this framework, because if retirement feels unclear, the first thing most people lack isn't discipline. No. It's a small set of numbers that, well, tell the truth. So the video next is the 4 numbers that actually decide retirement after 40. It's not a listicle, it's a lens. Because once you can name what matters, you can stop wasting energy on what doesn't. If you've been responsible and still feel uneasy, then take this with you. Your uncertainty might not be weakness. It actually might be accuracy. And we're going to turn that accuracy into clarity, one problem at a time. I'll see you on the next one.